In this lesson, we are going to use Microsoft SQL Server 2008 R2 to create a database, its related files and file groups, and to see how to manage them. Before going through the exercise, I want to mention that each database has files, two types of files. For example, on the master database, we have the log file and the data file. Also, each file has a logical name and a physical name. The physical name could be located on the operating system directories, and the logical name is used by SQL Server to write data on it. To create the database, the easiest way is to initiate a query, create database, and the name of the database, for example, my test DB, click on execute, and our database now is created. To see the default settings of the database, since I didn't mention any settings here, the properties, the files, we can see that the initial size of the file is 3 MB and the initial size of the log file is 1 MB. Same thing regarding auto growth and the path. For the default, to see the default settings, we go to the model database, since the model database is the template for all databases. On the file, we can see here the default settings. We can change the default settings, so all future databases will take these settings to apply on the creation, on the default creation. Also, regarding the directories, we can check the default directories by going to database settings, and here we can see that the default directories for data and logs are under MS SQL data. Also, we can change the default directories in case we don't want to mention each time the location of the database. Now we'll continue with our exercise. The first question is to create a database named POS with two file names in the following location: C SQL database POS. Also, both files should have the initial size of 100 MB and maximum size 50 GB, and the file growth will be 10%. Going into SQL Server and initiate another query. Okay, we are going to create database named POS. Okay, and it has two file names. Okay, on first name is the logical name, which could be the name of the database. You can have your own naming convention. The file name on the operating system will be SQL databases POS underscore data underscore 1 MDF. Okay, and second, and the size of the file will be initial size equal to 100 MB and the maximum size is equal to 50 MB. File growth is 10%. File growth equal 10%. Also, we want to add another file, since we have to create two files. We can copy and paste. Command here, change the logical name and the physical name of the file. Okay, and same settings regarding file size, maximum size, and file growth. Okay, now we want to add the log file the log file should be located on D, as it is a best practice to distribute the data file and the log file on different hard disks. It's better to do that. Just in case a hard disk is crashed, we can get the data from the log file and restore the full data to its last point. Okay, the location should be the SQL database log on, and to create a log file we need to put log on name equal the logical name of the file. It could be boss_log, and the physical file name bd SQL databases log on directory, and pos_log.ldf with an extension ldf. The extension here, it's a best practice to put an extension of .ldf for the log file, and regarding the data file, the first one could be mdf, and all the other files regarding the data files could be ndf as a secondary file. Okay, for the log file we need a size of 100 megabyte, and maximum size is unlimited, and the file growth will be equal to 50 megabyte. Okay, now we are finished. Okay, we need last step, we need to create these directories or we will get an error. Okay, under C I'm going to create SQL folder called databases. Okay, also on D I need to create another SQL directory with a folder called databases, and another folder, inside databases, to create a folder called log on. Okay, now we are going to initiate or to execute the query. Okay, if we go to the locations, for example log on, we see that the log file is created. Same thing for under SQL databases, and here the files of the new database. Next question is to expand the first data file of the database to be 200 megabyte. To expand the file we need to alter the database. So the first file is pos data_1.mdf. We need to access the logical name of the file to change its default size. Okay, on the query, now we need to alter the database pos and modify the first file. Modify file. Here the logical name of the file is just going to check this. Okay, on the file we have post_dat1 and post_dat2. Okay, so post_dat1, and the size I want to change it to be 200 megabyte, and the name here, which is the logical name. Click on execute, and if we go to the database, to the directory of the database, we can see that the initial size is 200 megabyte now. The second option is second question is to shrink the second file to be 50 megabyte. I just want to say that it's not the best practice to do this, since you will get a defragmented database. But in case you we want to do it, we can also alter the database. Okay, there's a command here which is dbcc shrink file, and the name of the database, the name of the files that I want to modify it here, pos underscore dat2, and the new size is 50. No need to add megabytes since it will take it by default, and execute. Okay, I need to mention the database name. You can put use pos. Okay. And now the current size is of the file is 50 megabyte. Next question, I need to add two file groups. The first one is transaction and second one is repository. Each file group is associated with physical files, and when creating tables, new tables, I can add default file groups for the created table, so I can know that my tables will be located on these physical files. To create the file groups, I need to alter the database. POS, want to add new file group. The first one is transaction. I put a convention for the file group fg underscore fg. Okay, this is the first one, and second one is repository fg, also execute. Okay, to see that everything is created, we go to file groups. Now we can see that we have repository file group and transaction file group. Also, I can change the default value for each one. Next, I need to add a third file to the database, a physical file to the database with an initial size of 100 megabyte and maximum size 1 gig, auto growth 10 meg, to transaction file group. Okay. Another command is to alter the database. I need to add not file group, but a file. Same command as creation of the database. Name of the file will be pos.3, and the physical location and the physical file name will be SQL databases pos data .ndf. Let's put the quotations, and then the size, initial size of the file is 100 megabyte. The maximum size is 1 gigabyte, and the file growth will be of 10 megabyte. Here I want to mention that I want this file to be created under a file group which name is transaction log, a transaction file group. So I add two file group transaction underscore fg. Okay, execute the command. Just to check if this file is created under the transaction file group. Here is a source file, which is pos.3, and it is created under the file group which name transaction file group. Okay, now I need to drop the file. Before dropping any file inside the database, I need to empty the file first. I need to migrate all the data to another files. This could be done by changing the information, or by dvcc shrink file, and the name of the file is pos. That's 3. I want to empty the file. Okay, first also I need to mention the database that I want to alter it. Here the database is pos, and execute. Okay, now the file is empty from any data. Okay, next step is to remove the file. So I will alter the database pos and remove file, and the file name is pos underscore. That's it. Okay, now the data file pos.3 has been removed. If I check files, okay, no file called pos.3 inside the database. Okay, the last thing is to create a table in a specific file group. The table is I'm going to create a department, for example, a department table. A table called department. It has the values of debt ID. I will make it tiny integer, and it is a primary key. Next, the department name will be a varchar 2 of 50. Okay, here I need varchar. Okay. Now I want to mention the file group. Same thing as on creating the file. The file group is a repository. Okay, or I will make it transaction FG, since I didn't create any physical file on the repository, so I will get an error. Okay, execute. Now my table is created under transaction file group. Okay, so I know that this table, all data of this table will be located on the physical file related to this transaction file group. Next, I need to attach and detach and attach the database. To do so, let's suppose that I want to copy all the files and put them on another server. If the database is online, I cannot do this. So I need to detach the database task. Detach. On detaching the database, okay, the database will not be displayed in the Object Explorer. Okay, so I can go and copy all the files and put them on another server. To reattach the database on the another on second server, simply I want to right-click on the database folder and click on attach. Here I add the MDF file. The MDF file is located under SQL databases. Click on the MDF file. Okay. In case I change the location of the second files, I can add the other file manually. Click on OK, and now the database is fresh. Okay, and it's attached again. There is another way to copy the database by using the copy wizard. For example, I want to copy the POS to another server, so I will use the copy wizard. Copy database. Here's the welcome screen. Next, what is the source server that I want to copy a database from? In this case, it's my server, local host, and I need to mention the authentication. Next, what is the remote servers that I want to copy the database to? do it. Okay, here since I don't have an online database on my network, I will use the same server, and also I can use the same account. Next, here we have two methods for transferring the database. I can put it offline. It will be put offline automatically by the database. It's the faster option. Second one is keep it online if some users are accessing it and changing data. Okay, next. The database is called POS. Okay, next. And on the new server or the remote server, the database will be called post_new. I can change the name, of course, and then I click next. Okay, since the integration, Microsoft SQL Server integration services will do the job, okay, it will put it under a package name. Next, and I can then run it immediately or put it on a specific schedule. Okay, I'm clicking on next. Okay, now on finish. This is a summary for copying the database. Okay, and that's it.